Got kind of a silly question for you today. Do you get neck pain with your fibromyalgia? So, okay. This is probably a no-brainer question. It's a little bit silly to ask because basically everybody with fibromyalgia has neck pain. It's usually one of the primary complaints is that the neck is always hurting, right? Like fibromyalgia and neck pain practically go hand in hand. So an interesting thing that I noticed is that many fibro sufferers also take active steps to try to manage this neck pain. And they'll use things like manual adjustments from their chiropractor, their osteopathic doctor, or maybe they use regular massages. But I hear the same reports over and over again. These things help temporarily, but they don't fix the problems. And in some cases, they only get a few hours of relief from their adjustments or from their massages. And these are great therapies. I'm not downplaying them at all, but why is this? Why are they not getting the results that they should be getting? Why are we not seeing long-term results with these things? I had one fibro warrior come in, 8 or 10 years ago, and she'd been getting adjusted twice a week for 2 years and still in an 8 out of 10 pain. So why is this? Why is this neck pain so hard to get rid of? Now, I'm practically an expert in this at this point because I've suffered awful neck issues for many years. Decades. I was not so smart in my younger years. I had several car accidents. I like to go to rock concerts and throw my head around, of course. I did judo for many years. I basically suffered neck pain for like 20 years, right? And I also had regular massage, regular chiropractic in there as well to manage the pain until at some point I got frustrated and I decided I hate managing pain. I'd really rather just get rid of it altogether. But that really requires identifying where the problem is coming from, right? It means that we have to look a bit deeper and find where the cause of this problem is. These things that we're managing with are not fixing the problem because they're not addressing the actual cause of the problem, right? Now, I know many of you are already gonna say, well, the problem is from a bulging disc in your neck. No, that's not it. This disc bulge, at least in most cases, barring some event that caused it, like a car accident, these disc bulges are already a byproduct of a branch or a branch manifestation of a greater problem. That means the disc problem is just a side effect of the root issue, right? Not only that, but did you know that many people are walking around with bulging discs in their necks and their backs, and they have absolutely no pain from it? There's research to substantiate this. Just because you have a bulging disc does not mean that you will have pain. These MRI scans can find that bulge, but they can't identify if it's actually agitating a nerve. And the research also shows that these bulges can go away over time. So just because you have a bulging disc doesn't mean that it's automatically the cause of your pain. Oftentimes it's not, and it doesn't mean that you're stuck with it for the rest of your life. So the root cause of neck pain and fibro, what is actually causing that? Now, to truly understand this, we have to go right back into our primary factors that cause fibromyalgia. Yes, we know what causes fibromyalgia. I know your doctor might tell you that they don't. We do. That's the truth. Yes, we have to get back to those same things, same things that I've made video after video on and I've talked to people about over and over again. So let's have a little look at them, okay? So first of all, we know that anyone dealing with chronic health problems such as pain or chronic fatigue, digestive issues, etc., they all have emotional stress from this issue. This is a fact. If you have a chronic problem, it will cause stress, right? Now, the research also shows that increased emotional stress causes nitric oxide levels to rise in the body. Now, let's take a look at what that means. Now, this nitric oxide, this gasotransmitter, which is essential to many processes that we have, it's essential to life. This nitric oxide, when it occurs in excess, that means there's too much of it, can cause massive problems to your body, massive health problems. Now, when it collects in the muscles, it can lead to muscular contraction, spasm, and tension, right? This is already a big issue with neck pain right there. How many times have you said, oh, my stress is in my neck? Your neck is tight, it hurts. Plus, this excessive nitric oxide can collect around the nerves and cause literal damage to the nerves, like disintegration of the nerves themselves. Now, this, of course, leads to increased sensitivity to pain, which we know is a big issue in fibromyalgia, and can cause this characteristic burning pain that we often find in fibromyalgia as well. So we've already addressed one cause that is promoting multiple issues that we know are big issues in fibromyalgia. This is huge. So if anybody ever tells you or ever uses that phrase on you, it's just stress, you can tell them that stress actually causes nerve damage and muscle and circulation problems and can actually damage the brain. So it's never just stress. Now, that is only one piece of the puzzle. Now, another big factor here is damage that has occurred to the lining of the intestines. Now, when this happens, we have something it's something that we call increased intestinal permeability. Some people call this leaky gut syndrome. But what it means is that more particles from your intestines are making their way into your bloodstream. And this is a major problem. It increases the amount of microbial and metabolic waste materials that end up in your blood. Hey, your body doesn't like that. You're not supposed to have all this waste material building up there, right? So as that happens, you know, this gut damage, of course, which happens from poor diet, from antibiotics, from taking too many drugs like NSAIDs, acetaminophen, ibuprofen, this already starts to tax the liver. Our liver is attempting to deal with this, but it quickly becomes overwhelmed, especially if you're taking all these medications. All these medications have to be metabolized by your liver. So your liver already has that job in addition to all the other jobs it's got to take care of your body. Now, we tack on filtering out all this extra waste, your liver becomes taxed. Your liver is overwhelmed. It can't deal with all that. And eventually this ends up going into the lymphatic system, which is supposed to help eliminate these wastes from the bodies. Now, when this system, your lymphatic system, also becomes overwhelmed, it leads to lymphatic congestion. And these waste materials then end up not only in the lymphatic system, but they start to end up in your connective tissue. That means around your muscles and around your joints. And this causes a characteristic touch sensitivity that happens in fibromyalgia. This is where the whole pressure tests came from with fibromyalgia. You get all this lymphatic backup that puts all this waste material in and around the muscles. And now you barely touch the muscles and it hurts like heck because you've got all this waste material sitting in there and it agitates the nerves. So again, now we've got another major cause of neck pain found in fibromyalgia. Now, additionally, these metabolic wastes can cause congestion in the brain's lymphatic system, which we call the glymphatic system. So what's removing waste materials from your brain. And this, of course, will lead to a characteristic problem known as brain fog, something we see in fibromyalgia a lot as well. Now, if that's not enough, this long-term gut dysbiosis, which we already know you have because of all this lymphatic congestion and because of the damage that's done to your gut, and it's just pairs immediately with fibromyalgia. It's one of the main causes of fibromyalgia, one of the main factors. So this gut dysbiosis leads to a decrease in energy output from your muscles. You already know this as chronic fatigue, but it also means that your muscles do not have the same energy output as they would when you're healthy. So what does that mean? This muscular weakness then often affects the muscles that support our spine and our posture. It's keeping our spine from collapsing essentially. And we eventually end up in a very common forward head posture, which puts an enormous amount of strain on your neck muscles and again will create more pain and more tension. Now just imagine this. Your head normally weighs about 12 pounds. And when you start changing the angle of your neck and your head ends up in front of your body rather than on top of it, it'll actually make your neck muscles feel like your head weighs 3 or 4 times more than it normally does. Now, this causes a massive amount of strain on your neck and your spine, of course, and can lead to these disc problems that so many people have. Imagine holding a bowling ball here in front of your body like this. You can hold it for quite a while, a 12-pound bowling ball. Now, put your arm out to the side and hold it like that and see how long you last. This is what you're doing to your neck by having this forward head posture. Yes, cell phones are a big part of that. Sitting in front of a TV, sitting in front of a computer, that's a big part of it as well. But the truth is those muscles require appropriate nourishment. And if you're not getting that nourishment by a healthy digestive system, these muscles will weaken over time and then they won't support your spine. And then you're going to end up with bulging discs or herniated discs. You're going to end up with long-term muscle pain. Now, if that's not enough, we've already gone through 3 major issues that are going to cause your neck pain. Now, all this strain that's placed on your neck and your upper back means that you are no longer going to have adequate circulation to these tissues. And now, when you're exposed to weather changes, it immediately impacts the muscles and joints because they're already in a state where they cannot compensate for this sudden change. Now, let me explain this. You see, normally changes in weather or even changes in temperature drastic temperature changes. You see this in Florida a lot. This will cause a slight inflammatory response within the body. This is normal, and it's a healthy way that our body adapts, okay? This is a normal way that our body adapts to changes in environment. But if you are already in a state where your muscles and joints are compromised by tension, by poor circulation, by inflammation, from excess nitric oxide, and already swollen from lymphatic congestion, your body simply cannot handle anymore. And this weather change will make you feel completely awful. It'll make your muscles and joints, it'll make everything more inflamed, and it'll make it expand. And you know, if you're dealing with long-term fibromyalgia, this weather change can send you through the roof. This is a major cause of fibromyalgia flare-ups. It is positively awful. So this is why it is so important to take a proper multi-pronged approach to the treatment of fibromyalgia. You are not going to fix it by just having one thing like spinal manipulation or massage. You're not going to fix it by that. Yes, you will manage things, but what is the point in managing something? We want to fix the problem, not manage it. We want it gone. We don't want to sit here and have to rely on these things for the rest of our lives. It is never as simple as just a basic pain. That state of your whole body needs to be addressed properly and in the proper order to have actual long-term success in the treatment of neck pain and fibromyalgia. You really have to fix the entire body together to actually fix this problem.